G'day, Owen Locke here. We're going to run through how to shorten a set of twin chamber forks to go into a cross trainer. A cross trainer is approximately 40mm shorter in the front end suspension travel than a full-size bike. I've done the measurements a bit earlier, that's what I came to. So there's two aspects of shortening some forks to go, shortening twin chamber forks. What we want to achieve is one, we want to move this spring perch here that you can see, because that's where this is how this fork actually sits inside the leg there. So we actually want to move this spring perch 40mm further up. And the other thing that we want to do is this damper rod here, when that reaches the end of its extension, that's what determines the full length of the fork. So we want to actually restrict that damper rod from coming right out and reduce it by about 40mm. So there's a couple of different ways that you can move the spring perch. With Buono and some others that I've seen, what they do is the spring perch here is actually located by a circlip which sits into grooves which are machined into this tube here, and the perch just sits up on that circlip. What some people do is they machine some more grooves into this tube here so that they can move the circlip up. My suspension tuner is not a big fan of that idea because he's seen tubes break when they've been over machined or from the heat from the machining. So what we do is we actually pull the perch off here. I'll just pop the circlip out, and we make up a spacer which actually sits up in here. This spacer is 147mm long. It's the standard length to the middle groove here was 187, so take 40 off, we've got 147. So we put that spacer on there, put our perch up there, and there we have it shortened. This particular tube is aircraft grade T6 6061 aluminium. It's available from any aluminium supplier that supplies sort of aerospace industry type things. It's all in metric because anything to do with aerospace is metric, I've recently discovered. So it's 1.25 inch external diameter and it's 65 thou wall. The spacer that we use for the damper rod is this aluminium tube here. And here's some of that. It's 6061 again, and this one here is 0.75 of an inch, and it's 125 thou wall thickness. So you can see that's much thicker wall there. So that's the tube you use. Relatively easy to obtain. Any major city will have it. So this is what we do to actually get that spring up 40mm. The other thing is to restrict the movement of that damper rod. So in order to do that, we'll just take this back off here. We need to take the closed cartridge out. So I've already drained it of oil. So you can see here, I'll just get our tool here. I've already loosened it. We just want to take this cartridge out of the top here. And there's your compression valve assembly and compression shim stack in there. Next thing we want to do is actually remove this top chamber. I've already loosened it, but you just have to clamp that in the vise with some rags to hold that. Be careful, don't over tighten it, because if you overlise this tube, you are going to introduce a lot of stiction into the forks and pretty much wreck them. So we take that top chamber off there. Nut off the damping rod. Damping rod out. And all we need to do, this is your top out spring. When your fork hits its full extension again, like when you're doing a jump or a mono and it comes out, this is the spring which actually gives you that top out effect. So we can just place this spacer on here, that space is 40mm. Got our little seal there. And then this, we go back in with this. And then we have our damper rod there, and it's topping out there at that 40mm shorter. Screw it all back together. spacer back on, perch, and there we have it. We have the reduced damper rod length and the reduced spring length. That all slides back into the fork like it normally would. We fill the top chamber up, put oil in there, reassemble the forks like you normally would, like you would see in any of the manuals which are available online from betausa.com. There is a fork disassembly manual for the Sachs Closed Cartridge forks on there, so you can jump on there and it will show you how to go through step by step, just reassembling the forks. And that's about it. There we have a 40mm shorter set of Sachs Closed Cartridge forks ready for reassembly to go back into the Xtrainer.